Hey guys, we are going to be trying on some brand new luxury makeup. I'm so excited, mostly for the new Hermes foundation. So this is the Luminous Matte. I'll never understand those two words together, but a Luminous Matte skincare foundation. I ordered the shade 25W. I don't know why. Anyway, I ordered this off of Nordstrom. I just went with like the little color chips. I was like, this looks okay. We'll go with that. I did also order the new YSL Couture Mini Clutch in Sparkling Lust, which I believe is limited edition and maybe for Valentine's Day, but we'll take a look at that. I did also get one of the new Gucci Glow blushes. I got the shade Fresh Coral. The shades are very, very bright. And while I love a bright blush, I was like, let me try and pick the one that seems, again, online, it seemed the tamest. So I went with that shade. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I also purchased the Kosas Shiny Objects Wet Glisten Powder Highlight in Haloed. It's a champagne sheen. So very excited to try that. And then, this is not new, but I had never seen this. I don't know how this completely passed me by, but this is the Hermes Plein Air H Trio, the iridescent mineral powder. I have it in that pinky shade, the Rose Atacama, I think is a shade. They have a different shade, the Coral Mojave. So I thought I would try that. I don't know where this may fit in because I do have the Kosas highlighter and then I do have the Gucci blush, and I feel like maybe it's like one of those products that's kind of like in between a highlighter and a blush. Anyway, we'll take a look at that. And then I did get some things in PR that I thought I would use to kind of fill in here. So the La Mer, the lip treatment, they recently came out with these in like 4 shades, I believe. I've opened up Honey and I really enjoyed it. And they did also send me Cocoa, and I thought we could try that today. And then Suku sent some new stuff to me during Mishmas, and I just didn't get around to using it, but they did send me a concealer. They did send me a mascara base, like an eyelash base, and a mascara. So I thought I would try that. They did also send me a new foundation or like skin tint. I'm gonna have to save that for another video. But anyway, let's start with the Hermes Plein Air Luminous Matte Foundation. Again, I got shade 25W. Here's the packaging, the inside packaging. And this is that's kind of cool. Here we go. Here's the bottle. Part of it is like a frosted glass, and then this is like shiny glass. And then we've got this cover that looks actually very much like their nail polishes, their lipsticks a little bit. It's got that gold Hermes seal at the top. 25W, we'll have to see. So while I'm shaking this up, I'm just gonna read what's on the side of this box here. Formula made with 71% ingredients of natural origin, combining niacinamide, pure hyaluronic acid, and white mulberry extract. These are all ingredients that my skin really enjoys, so I'm excited for that. And it is supposed to have a medium coverage, luminous matte finish, long wear, second skin makeup effect, evens out blurs and revives the complexion's radiance, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right, excited to try this out. Now I've tried the Hermes, it's more like a skin tint. It came in, I believe, a squeezy tube. Am I remembering that correctly? Anyway, I didn't like that. It was okay. It was okay, but I was like, Hermes, like, give me something. I need like a feeling. I need a vibe when it's Hermes. So I'm hoping this does not disappoint. It's got a nice pump top here. I'm just gonna pump a little bit out onto the back of my hand. And it's got a nice, you know, liquid foundation texture there. It's slowly running down the back of my hand. So not super thick and creamy. I feel like I have hair on my face. I hate that feeling, but I don't see anything. Okay, all right. Let's just ignore that, Michelle. Let's move on. I believe Hermes also released like a brush that goes with this foundation. I did not get that because the brush that they released with their blush, I thought was pretty terrible. It was natural hair, but it was so rough, and it felt like, or it looked like, I should say, when I got it, I remember opening it up in the box, like even the hairs in the box, never used, never touched, looked like they had just been like washed like very roughly over and over again. And I was like, this doesn't look promising. And I remember using it and I was like, this is not a good brush. I did not enjoy it. So I did not bother getting this new brush that they released with this foundation. Okay, so I'm putting this down over bare skin. I have my skincare down, but no primer or anything like that. And I'm using my Bobbi Brown full coverage foundation brush. And oh, it's got that Hermes scent, which I believe, I'm not familiar with Hermes fragrances like at all, but apparently like this and their lipsticks have this same scent, and I believe it is one of their fragrances. It has a little bit of like a powdery candy kind of fragrance. Oh, I'm happy. I think 25W actually works quite well. Oh, good. I was worried about getting W. Usually I go for like neutral, even sometimes cool. But yeah, just with the color chips, when I like just looked at the one that seemed okay, I was like, oh, W, we'll go with it. I like the texture of it. So far, I like the finish. It is, I guess that's what they mean by luminous matte. It's very skin-like. You know, it's very, very skin-like. So it doesn't just have this like highlighty kind of like subtle pearl sheen or anything like that, but it doesn't look dry. It doesn't look velvety and dry. I wish they would come up with one word that means this, that isn't luminous matte, because I feel like that just doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm just pumping out one more pump and applying it here. You know what I will say? I mean, I'm sure this is buildable, but I like that upon first application here, I feel like I'm able to get like a light medium coverage. It doesn't seem like a full-on medium, and I happen to like lighter, light medium, light coverage foundations, so that's a relief. The fragrance is pretty subtle. It's pretty subtle. I feel like I could smell it while I was applying it, but now that it's down on my skin, I smell it maybe a little bit, but not that much. It's like, it's fading. It's fading already. Okay, well that's good. All right, so I applied it to this half of my face. This half of my face does not have any foundation. I like it. I like it so far. It's very natural. Very, very natural. Very skin-like. I keep saying that. Sorry, I'm gonna lean in close here because I have like a magnifying mirror here and I just wanna get all up in there. Looks good around my nose. Looks good on my forehead. Sometimes things don't sit well along my hairline on my forehead. I've talked about this on my channel, so pardon me for the repetition here, but I suffer from, but I had really, really bad eczema breakouts on my forehead here. And so I have like, kind of like scar tissue, if you will. And you know how that has a different texture. So sometimes foundation just doesn't like adhere to this skin very well, but this actually looks pretty good. I will say though, I'm impressed with how it looks around my nose. My nose, like the tip of my nose, is the oiliest part of my face. And because of that, I feel like foundation sometimes just doesn't sit right on it. It like breaks up immediately. It doesn't like fully sit down. It just sort of looks almost like clumpy, but this is super smooth around my nose. Okay, all right. So far, so good. So far, I'm liking this a lot more than that skin tint. Oh yeah, I just did, and my video popped up. Not wowed. Yeah, the Hermes Plein Air Natural Enhancing Complexion Balm. Just wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. At least my memory of it is correct. Okay, this I am liking so far. I'm liking a lot more, but let me go ahead and finish applying it to the rest of my face. Okay, it does take like a little bit for this foundation to set down. And the reason I can tell that is I use a brush and I can still see like the brush strokes in there. A lot of foundations, by the time, you know, I get done kind of like spreading it out and blending it in all over my face, it's like well into the process of setting down. And so you stop seeing those brush strokes. But I'm seeing this kind of hang on a little bit longer. So I just have to kind of run my brush over it as it continues to set down. And that'll get rid of the brush strokes. But I wonder if it's because there is so much skincare in this foundation. Those tend to take a little bit longer because they have a lot of ingredients in there that are very moisturizing or whatever. And those things don't necessarily need to like quote unquote set down. They just need to kind of be absorbed, and that can take a while. But yeah, I mean, that's good. It's just maybe like another minute than like most other foundations where, you know, I use a brush. It's looking really good. I feel like it's made my skin look really smooth, really soft. I feel like I see even a little bit of a blurring action here where I have the larger pores. That's probably the niacinamide. That's what always helps my pore size is niacinamide. Yeah, my forehead looks smooth. Of course, I didn't blend it in great right here. That's my fault. There we go. Yeah, so far I'm impressed. So far I'm impressed. Okay. All right, let's try out some concealer. I don't think I necessarily need it, but let's see if we can find a shade that kind of brightens my under eye, because Suku sent me 2 different shades. They sent me in their creamy cover concealer, which is fairly new. They sent me shade C02, which is cool, and N03, which is neutral. Here is the packaging. I love the Suku packaging. It's so slick. Yep, so here is, wow, I can't even really tell the difference. I was gonna say here is the C02 and here's the N03. Yeah, the C02 looks a little like it has a dash of pink in there. I think I'm gonna go with N03 just because this foundation has a little bit of warmth to it. Yeah, and I think the neutral will work better. Okay, here is the doe foot applicator. On the bigger side, and it looks like the center of it has like a little bit of a reservoir there. There's like a lot of product right at the center. Yeah, right in the center of that doe foot. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna start with that amount, not too much. I've got my trusty BK Beauty A506 brush and just gonna pounce. Wow, hold on. I need a close-up mirror here. Wow, that's stunning. You know what's so funny? I've been playing around with the Prada concealer and the Chanel concealer, kind of going back and forth. I'm like, today I like this one. Nope, today this one looks, much better, whatever. They're actually very, very similar. I feel like the Chanel has a little bit more coverage. I'm still testing them out. And I'm like, I think people will really want to know like which one I like better. Well, I'm here to tell you, I think the Suku one is the best out of at least those 3. Wow, okay. Wow, so smooth. And the finish of this concealer is almost just like the foundation. It's like a luminous matte. It's like a luminous matte. Wow. And I see like, when I laugh, I see like this big wrinkle appear. But the concealer doesn't get sucked into that crevice in my skin. Yeah, this Suku, I think actually blows away the Chanel and the Prada. I'm gonna have to keep playing with all of them, but so far, that would be, if you had to ask me right now, that would be my answer, that this creamy cover concealer from Suku is the best one. Huh. Okay, all right, I've got the Chanel sitting out here. I've been testing it. Okay, we don't have, excuse me, we don't have like a new bronzer or anything, so let me find something. So I've been getting to know the Dior bronzing stick. I really like it. I have it in the shade 01 Light, and I've basically just been like bronzing with it, but I like the tone, I like the texture. It is a little bit, balmier than the foundation stick or the contour stick. Yeah, it's just, it's very nice. It's very, very easy to use. And yeah, I've had no issues with it. So I've really been enjoying that. And it just, it blends out really easily. It plays nicely, with other makeup. The tone is so great because the warmth is kind of peachy. So yeah, it just looks great on the skin. Yeah, it seems to have played nice with the Hermes, which is great. Okay, awesome. Let's move on to blush. I've got a powder blush. What I'm gonna do is actually put down some loose powder. I'm gonna use my Kogen Do Natural Lighting Powder, and then we can move on to the Gucci blush. All right, now for the Gucci Glow Blush. I'm so excited for this. I really like their other, I think those were like luminous matte blushes, right? The first release of these Gucci blushes. Here's the packaging. So we have this like sunburst design, and then here is the shade number 2, Fresh Coral. I can see the sheen in it already. Oh yeah, this is great. They really made these shades look like they were gonna be really, really like pigmented and deep online, but that's very nice. That is manageable. I think I'm just gonna have to go into store and take a look at them in real life. Okay, I've got my BK Beauty 106 brush. Very, very pretty. And you know, it's actually not that shiny. I feel like it looks shinier in the pan. It looks shinier in my swatch. And I see a little bit of a reflect on my cheek, but it's pretty soft. It's pretty soft. I mean, it's there, but it's soft. It's not like a blush where people are gonna think like, did she put highlighter on as blush? It's very subtle. That's nice. Okay, and I love that sheen. It's so, so pearly, I love it. Okay, Gucci Glow Blush, Radiant Silky Blush. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at the other shades that they have. Okay, now for this Hermes Plein Air H Trio in number 2. Can't wait to swatch this guy. So, oh, okay, really peach. It actually looks kind of bronzy, doesn't it? Oh, I think that'll work as a highlight. Yeah, so right there. Oh, that's very pretty. Hold on, let me swatch it next to the Rose Atacama. So here is the Rose one. Oh, okay, yeah. The Rose one is much cooler toned. Can you see that there? It has like a white kind of reflect to it, and there's the coral one. Oh, I'm so glad I picked this up. You know, because just looking at this, I really thought, oof, is this gonna be too deep for my skin tone in terms of highlighter? But I think this is actually gonna be perfect. Okay, I've got a brush here that I'm testing out. I'm gonna pick this up. It's just like a flat angled brush. Ooh, I'm seeing all of those pictures on Instagram. There's that like trend going around where people are posting stuff from 2016 or whatever. I feel like this highlight is kind of from 2016. It's really bright. I feel like it's brighter than the swatches. Yeah, absolutely. It could also be this brush. This brush is pretty dense. Let me use a buffer. I've got my Sonia G smooth buffer brush. I just want to blend that in a little bit more. I feel like I have to go over the blush again. Taking this back out and applying it. Yeah, that looks better. That highlight is something else. Okay, Hermes, Coral Mojave. Beautiful. I'm gonna use my microfine eyebrow brush from Chanel. I have it in the shade 162. Do they have the name on here? Bruntaupe, that's right. I don't know why I've been gravitating towards eyebrow pencils lately versus my eyebrow gels. Who am I? Okay, eyebrows done. Oh, I'm so excited to try this YSL, this new quad. Again, it's called Sparkling Lust, and it even has special packaging, right? Oh, cute. It's almost like an ombre sparkle from like silver to rose gold. Oh, how pretty. Here are the 4 shades. They're very, very close in tone, so I don't know if I'm, gonna be able to get like a very dimensional look, but actually before I say anything, let me swatch because sometimes looks can be very deceiving. These shadows are so creamy. Well, definitely very Valentine's Day friendly. Here are the 2 sparkly shades. They look like topper shades. And then here are the 2 like satin shades. Very, very close, very close. The one on the bottom is just a hint deeper. I mean, they look very, very similar to what they look like in the pan. And actually, this shade is like a creamy matte, and this shade actually has a little bit of shimmer there. I wasn't sure if some of this was kind of like falling in there. I don't think so. I think this shade actually has, yeah, like a little bit of a sheen to it. It's almost undetectable, so I'm not sure if you'll even be able to see it in my swatch, but like a little bit, there's a little bit of a sheen compared to this one. I've got my Refer brush in number 1, and I'm gonna go into that lighter shade, the one in the top right-hand corner. And just gonna put this on my lid from the inner corner over to the center here My God, I am so pale. I look at these shades and I'm like, are these even gonna show up on my lids? Yes, yes, Michelle, that's how pale you are. Ooh, these blend out beautifully. I love how soft these shadows are, but there's never any fallout. I never experienced any fallout with these YSL shadows. Very pretty. It looks the same as it looks in the pan, so no surprises. Love that. I'm just gonna flip this brush over. I'm gonna go into this shade, which is a little bit deeper. That's the one that I think has a little bit of a metallic sheen in there. These shades are so interesting. It's kind of like the, I have it here, so I'll pull it out. It's kind of like the Chanel Rouge Noir Confidence palette, this blush. It's such a pretty, like warm lilac in a way. And I feel like these shadows have the same, I mean, they're a little bit cooler and like desaturated than the Chanel, but they have like the same kind of feeling to them where they're not warm shades. And I always expect, you know, palettes that are like pink and purpley, maybe not purple, but like pink, like Valentine's Day shades, they always tend to like lean towards the red. And these really lean towards like the purple. And so they're just a little bit cooler toned. And I like this direction we're moving in for, you know, Lunar New Year, Valentine's Day, all of these sort of like red color themed holidays. If you guys watched my video from Thursday, I talk about is that clean girl aesthetic over, and I don't think it's fully over. I do think maybe we're building upon it, maybe moving away from it just a little bit. But what I really like is kind of creating a clean girl aesthetic, but then making one thing, like creating like one statement. And I think for today's look, it's gonna be the eyes, because I don't usually put on this much pink / purpley eyeshadow. All right, now I'm gonna use my finger and go into, I think I wanna use this one, this like purpley glitter shade. This one is just kind of like a champagne, but I wanna try this one. I'm gonna use my finger and just tap it on. Maybe just the center of my lid. This is like one of those eyeshadow palettes that I feel like is going to transcend any age group, because I feel like this is going to touch so many hearts of young ladies in school, young ladies, young men in like high school, but the 50-something-year-old ladies too, I think are really going to enjoy this as well. Nice. Okay. I really like this look. So pretty. So pretty. Really, really perfect for Valentine's Day, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna curl my lashes because I wanna try this Suku eyelash base and mascara that they sent over. And I'm using my Refer lash curler, the 20R. They have two sizes, the 20R and the 18R. The 18R is narrower. The 20R fits my lashes better. So let's try this Suku Defining Eyelash Base first. I think it's kind of like whitish. Here's the tube. Yeah, it kind of has like a waxy appearance. I've never really gotten into using eyelash bases. I know Lancome has one that's really popular, and I've tried that a couple of times. But you know, because my lashes are so puny, I feel like things are either gonna really help or really hinder my eyelashes. And I felt like the Lancome one, I mean, it was okay, but I had to be really careful because otherwise it was like they just got so heavy underneath that lash base. But this one is actually helping my lashes curl. Holy smokes, do you see that? I'm gonna zoom in here. I mean, I did just curl them, yes, but I feel like the edges over here, those actually curled up even more. Same on this side. Wow. Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, let's try their 3D eyelash mascara. And I have it in the shade Black. Here is the packaging. Very sleek, very sexy, very Suku. We've got a nice, tidy, curved bristle brush here. I like this mascara because it's not wet. It could be that base though, but it's definitely not a wet mascara. Wow, look at my lashes. I don't think I've ever had a lash base or a mascara that actually made my lashes look more curled. I've had great success with some mascaras that keep them curled, but this I feel like is actually making them more curled, like peppier. Oh my God. Suku, Suku, Suku. Always so amazing. And I've started using these rounded mascara brushes this way instead of this way because it was actually a few years ago at this point, Dior had like this illustration of like their mascara and their mascara wand, and it was like upside down. And I thought, oh, have I been doing it wrong this whole time? And I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter, right, wrong, whatever works for you. But ever since I started flipping it, it does, I think it actually works better because like that part that comes up on the inside gets these lashes that are really hard to reach. Yeah, and I feel like it kind of like scoops up the lashes. I don't know. I'm like, is this a misprint on Dior? And I don't know. I really like that now. I really like using it that way. That's the Suku base and mascara. I really like these. I'm so surprised at how curled my lashes still look. Okay, amazing, amazing. All right. Also, is this waterproof? It doesn't say whether or not it's waterproof. All right, let's try this La Mer, the lip treatment in Cocoa. Like I mentioned, I do have it in the shade Honey. So since we are gonna leave the eyes as the statement for this makeup look, I do want a more subtle lip. So I do think this lip treatment is perfect for that. But I'm actually, sorry, I'm having a hard time opening this. But I do think these actually have a little bit more pigment than I expected them to have. Not that they have a lot, but let's take a look. So look at how cool this case is. It's like all twisted and it reminds me of that building. Is it in London? Is there like a commercial building that kind of looks like this in London? It like almost looks like it's kind of twisting, but yeah, just ever so slightly, like right here. Anyway, here is the lip treatment in Cocoa. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, see, there is more pigment than you would think, right? You think it's gonna just be like an easy, like tinted balm. These are actually almost like a shine lipstick, but I think this tone actually is gonna work really well with this eye look. Okay, oh, is there a scent? Yeah, it has like the same scent as their lip scrub and their lip, was it their lip treatment? I think they replaced their lip treatment with this. So anyway, it has the same fragrance. It's almost like mint chocolate chip. Oh, I have, sorry, I put a lip mask on before I started filming because my lips were so dry. I was using the Make Beauty Lip Reset in that pink lemonade or whatever this is called, Lunar Lemonade. So I should take that off. Okay, wow, I'm doing a lot of dark lip looks. I really didn't mean for this to be such a dramatic lip, but it is. And I'm happy to report that the pigmentation seems very even. I'm always worried with like kind of a thinner moisturizing kind of base, like a dark color is gonna look a little patchy, a little streaky, but this actually looks pretty decent. All right, well, those are all the products that I wanted to try today. Let's take a close look at my complexion. I mean, it's only been about, how long have I been filming? About 30 minutes. Still looks pretty good, I gotta say. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Oh, I have an eyebrow hair I should pluck though. Well, so far I'm loving it. Nothing funky is happening. I guess time will tell. But I do plan on wearing this makeup for the rest of the day. I will leave a pinned comment letting you know how everything wore, most especially the foundation. I think that's what most people are interested in. But I will say the Suku mascara, the mascara and the lash base and their concealer, these were, I think, the MVPs of this video. I was not expecting that because I was so focused on what I had just recently hauled, which is, you know, the Hermes foundation, the YSL quad, and I had those Suku items, just sort of waiting for me to use. And boy, am I kicking myself for not using them sooner. But wow, gorgeous, gorgeous concealer. My lashes are still curled. They look great, amazing. The YSL eyeshadow, great. Great. If you like the formula, it's the exact same to their other quads or other mini Couture clutches. Very, very soft, very, very smooth, really easy to apply, really easy to work with. This Hermes highlighter, very effective for sure. I really like the tone of it. I think it actually works better than the rose one that I've been using. I will say, I think this Gucci blush is fading because after I buffed it out, right, I reapplied even more, and I feel like it's faded again a little bit. So I'm gonna have to kind of keep an eye on that, because that would be a real bummer. Real bummer. I do not like blushes that fade on me. I don't like people that fade on me either, but sometimes it happens. And this lip treatment is very nice. It's very, very nice. It feels like a lip treatment. It's not quite as thick as a mask, but it does feel very, very moisturizing. There is a mintiness to it. It's very subtle. I'm not usually the biggest fan of anything that's too minty, where you're almost like preoccupied with the feeling. This is just a little bit. I prefer if there was nothing, but there is a little bit. I think that's it, right? Oh, I didn't get to the Kosas. I'll definitely have to use this. Maybe I'll use this in like a new at Sephora video, because I know that's available at Sephora. I just happened to purchase it at Nordstrom. Thank you guys so much. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're watching me on mobile, please don't forget to hype this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.